Good morning, Pat. It's a
Good
pleasure
morning.
to be here with you.
Thank you.
So we have some questions from Italy and for our Italian Parent Project group. So the first question is, can you describe your work for Parent Project and tell us how many hours you dedicate to this kind of activity in your working week? And when did you start this activity, and what are the main tasks that you are organizing during your week?
Sure. Well, thank you for allowing me to speak with you and all the families over in Italy that we can help fight muscular dystrophy, which is the goal of everybody.
Yep.
So for Parent Project specifically, I work with a group of men with Duchenne and Becker, ranging in age from 13 all the way up to right now. Our oldest gentleman with Becker is 62. Most of them are in their 20s and their 30s. So it's a group of about 25 of us, and we call it the Patient Adult Advisory Committee. And what we do is we meet once a month over Zoom, and we talk about issues related to the condition, but also related to life. So one of the things that we've tried to do is share information with each other to make living a little bit easier. Things about our wheelchairs, wheelchair repairs, how to get around, perhaps college, schooling, employment, jobs, and just basically helping each other with mental health as well. But we also trade tips about work. You know, there's a gentleman who has Duchenne who is a graphic designer, so he can get some work. Another gentleman just got his own apartment with a roommate and talked about how to navigate moving into your own space. So we do all sorts of things like that, but we meet year round, and we also, I would say personally for me, it's between 10 and 12 hours a week. I communicate with email with them. Sometimes we get on the phone, and I make myself available that if I cannot find you the answer, I will find somebody that can find you the answer. So it's basically a big network. We also try to work hard with our government in the United States if we want to try to fix problems, barriers to accessibility, transport, schooling, things like that. If everybody raises their voice together, that voice is louder. And it's an ongoing fight that will last forever until either I'm dead or the disease has a treatment. So, and I've done this work for about 2.5 years. In addition to, I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade about kids from 10 to 13 music, which is my full-time job. So my Parent Project job is right now on the side, but looking to expand that because there's an awful lot of work to be done.
So you must have been a music director. That's why you are so successful in this activity, because you are used to direct the group.
Well, yeah, the leadership and, everybody that is a parent out there knows when you have a child that reaches the age of adolescence of, 10, 12, 15, so different challenges. So I've spent almost 30 years working with children of that level with, normal learning children, children with autism, children with disabilities. In the public school in America, everybody goes to the same place, and we provide the assistance you need by our laws. So I'm very used to talking with groups of people at that age and trying to hold their attention away from YouTube and all the other apps and say, let's focus on what we do. So yes, I'm able to bring people together.
So we've been very moved by the level of participation of the young and less younger of Duchenne adults at the conference. Can you tell us about your strategies to be so successful in this kind of work? And can you tell us the key that helped you to involve this wonderful group?
So I think first it's talking to as many families as possible, but individuals living with Duchenne and Becker about what are their passions and what are their interests. And then I take all that information, and when we make presentations, we try to make it something that we know they'll be interested in. For instance, if a lot of the boys are interested in working with computers and software, we'll get together a presentation where we say, this is something we can all do together, and let's all get together to learn from each other.
Do you invite someone else to present?
We invite, yes, we will look up professionals from the industry, or for exact example, last year they wanted to talk a lot about video games and how they could make video game controllers more accessible for them to use. So I have a friend who works in the video game industry. He came and presented at a Zoom session on how the gaming industry makes video games able to be accessible by disabled people. And that opened a dialogue for these kids to talk with him directly about things that may improve video gaming. So I think to get participation, it has to be something that a lot of the boys are interested in. And first you talk to everybody you can, find out what that is. And because we have so much technology now, nobody needs to leave their home. It's very easy. We set up a common time, again, once a month, and then they tell me, what about if we have something else? Like, we had two females come on that have SMA, similar to muscular dystrophy, to talk about what it's like to be a woman that is disabled and the challenges they face in society. And all the boys showed up for that because everybody is interested in women and everybody wants to know how to date. So they spoke about that. So getting everyone together first has to be something everyone is interested in. But then, like everything else, when you buy in, I'll use a film. If you're in a film, if you're at the cinema and the first 10 minutes of the movie grabs you, you will stay and watch. And you may even watch it again. So the key to success is have a hook at the beginning where they're going to want to come back for the next installment of the movie.
Yeah.
And to find that, you ask them where their passions are, and you work from there.
Wonderful.
Good.
Can you tell us about the activities that Parent Project is promoting, apart from the conference, for youngs and adults?
Aside from the social media, the meetups, we have different things for different groups. So the younger kids, we may meet a couple of times a year, or every other month, and we'll have a trivia contest, and we'll do that online, or we'll come together and we'll play games.
And there's someone else in charge of it.
There's someone else, or I usually run it, or I will. I will run that, or we will have a guest. If somebody is again really good with video games, they'll set up a video game server where all the boys meet together, and they'll play games. Other age levels, it varies. It could just be regional. In the United States, with Parent Project, we have regional coordinators. Almost every state has a parent of a Duchenne or Becker child that's in charge, and they reach out to families in their state, province, or area, and they can set up whatever they want. Maybe once a month people meet and just go out for ice cream. It's not just talking about muscular dystrophy.
Yeah.
It's just getting together talking about anything.
Yeah.
They all attend a parade. They'll go to a fireworks display. They'll go to a food festival. Any cultural event where people can come together and talk about common things.
Yeah.
It's just getting people together.
Wonderful. So you say you are the director, the people that, the person that is in charge of making it going on. But there is a lot of other people involved.
Absolutely.
On a local level.
Yes.
So everyone is responsible for a small group, and you probably are helping them to move on the same direction.
Absolutely. I would think it is like a bicycle spoke wheel, where Parent Project is in the middle, and then they say, we're going to try and get people together, and each one of us are certain spokes. Yeah. But it does not work with 1, 2, or even 3 people. There have to be, every family has to be involved to the extent that they can,
yeah.
And everybody can do something. If you have a gift at talking with other people, we put you in charge of communication. You reach out to people. If that's not really what you like to do, but you're good at organizing, you put together the spreadsheet and find out what time everyone's going to be there.
Yeah.
So, and everybody gives what they have to. But our volunteer coordinators, probably between 5 and 10 hours a month, just to make sure people are getting together. And also, not always organized activities, people just sharing email, phone number, information. Then it becomes a network we can rely on.
Yeah.
I have a problem, my car has broken down. Oh, this family that's 15 miles away, we may be able to figure something out. We all lean on each other for support.
Yeah. But you are doing something to educate these people. First time you meet them and you see that someone is good to do something in this area, are you going to involve him and educate him, or is always something that comes from them? are you expecting these qualities to come out spontaneously, or are you promoting this kind of a quality? Because this is what we miss in Italy. We sometimes see someone and we say, oh, has this has to be someone that we want to involve. So we need to start to educate him, and then in the end, you finally have someone participating. But it's so hard. So I would be curious to know if this is something that comes out spontaneously from everyone, because this is the main difference between our two countries.
So I would not say it's spontaneous.
Okay.
It takes an awful lot of work, and it has to happen all the time.
Okay.
It's not, we in America we call it the grassroots, where everybody realizes that our ultimate goal is to somehow have a treatment for muscular dystrophy. But while we were on that road, and it's a long road, there's other things we can do to make life better quality of improvement. So what I personally do as a secret is I try to find as many people as I can, and then I just get to know them through conversation, and I'm thinking all the time, what is their strength? And I, make them feel good about themselves and say, how would you like to help? And I see that you're strong with talking with people. Would you mind, I'm very busy, would you mind calling just 3 other families? Just talk about our organization, what we do. We have an app. Maybe they could join the app. Just read about what's going on. You don't necessarily have to get involved. Step 1. Then they do that, you see them on the app. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. I noticed you joined in. How old is your son? Oh, 10? You've been diagnosed about 5 years? I have a family that you should contact because they're at exactly the same place. Will you call them? They get together, 2 families. Maybe they have dinner. It just starts like that. Small, but it has to be always follow up. It's not once and then, I don't hear from you for a month. Forget it. You call them again. Because you know what? Their son still has muscular dystrophy, which means they're still interested.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Never give up.
So you're basically a talent scout.
Yeah. Yep.
Easy.
I'm
Buy one.
I'm scouting some talent right now.
She says that she noticed that there were a number of closed activities where parents couldn't get in or someone else couldn't get in. And so she's curious to know if this kind of strict attitude helped this kind of activities a lot or not, and this is the first question. And the second one is, how did you reach to keep them separated? Because in Italy, mama is always there, and it's very hard to keep them away.
So, to answer your first part, when we get everybody together, I ask the gentleman, when we all go to conference and everybody is there, now there's going to be perhaps 60 or 70 men with Duchenne and Becker at the conference. Are there subjects that you would like to talk about without your parents in the room? Think about, if you're a parent right now of a Duchenne Becker boy, think about their privacy for a moment. Do they have any? And now think about when you were growing up and you were a young teenager and you wanted to know certain things. Maybe you talk with your friends, you go on the internet, not dangerous, but you're learning about yourself. There are things coming up as an adult you probably didn't want to discuss with mom and dad. Duchenne and Becker men, no difference. There are things they don't want to discuss with mom and dad. So first we say, okay, what would you like to talk about? Well, we like to talk about, getting your own caregivers or managing your own doctor's appointment, or how do I ask a woman for a date? How do I make more friends? How do I go out and be social? How do I maintain my mental health, right? Because you don't want to say to your parents, my mental health is struggling, then it puts one more burden on them. You feel guilty, they feel guilty.
Yeah.
It almost like therapy. So then we get the responses. They say we like to focus on these things. Then in the conference brochure, we just put it out, closed session. We'll say what it is. We're going to be talking about mental health, and we're honest. We say these boys are 16 and up. They don't want to talk to mom and dad about this stuff, and they shouldn't. It's more healthy to talk to somebody else, perhaps. And that's no against the relationship with the parents. The relationship is still great with the parents. Yeah. All of us growing up, there's things we don't feel comfortable talking about with them. So we say it's going to be closed, and then everybody comes in, we introduce, they make sure that I'm not some sort of strange weirdo that's going to kidnap their children and go to Canada. And then we say, please leave, and we close the doors. That allows the men to be more open, and they will ask questions maybe they wouldn't ask. And also, again, we all, working on the grassroots, we all exchange emails, phone numbers on the app, and we say, that will continue. The app is also closed.
Yep.
You have to be 16 or older and have Duchenne and Becker. There are other Facebook groups for everybody. You don't want to ask a question about going to the bathroom on a public Facebook group where everybody's mother's going to see. You come to the app, you ask us here, we'll talk about it. So that we're very honest.
So the app, is helping a lot?
The app is helping a lot. We launched it last year. We're up to almost 150 people, and we screen everybody to make sure everybody is.
So you are also taking care of the app?
I'm taking care of the app, not by myself, but.
How many people are working on, because if there are 150 people involved, there will be, I don't know, how many messages per day? So,
yes, several.
Yeah.
So the app is run by a company that Parent Project hired to just, that's the
technical
that's
stuff.
the technical stuff.
But I mean,
yes, the content is run by, again, people that are in the PAC group, because it's not just me.
Okay.
When we come together on those monthly Zooms.
How many people are in this group?
Okay, in the group, 25 men right now. So then I say,
all parents?
Nope, these are all men with Duchenne and Becker.
Okay.
And I say to them, we're going to launch the app. Who would like to help run that? So, one man, 25 years old, has some software, likes computers. I will monitor the messages for the following hours or the following days. Someone else says, I'll screen all the new members, let them in, and send a welcome message. Somebody else says, I'm going to run the channel in the app that just talks about cinema. We'll talk about movies. Then there's another one, we talk about, barriers to care and how we can help with care. So after recruiting all these people together, I find their strengths, I put them to work.
Yeah, that's another question that comes to my mind. Are you paying them for what they do?
No, it's all volunteer.
It's all volunteer.
All volunteer. And it's volunteer, and it's as much or as little as you want. But I've found that even without payment, most of the men are more than willing to help each other out.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, of course, money would be great, but there's not a lot to go around.
No, well, I think it was great to probably help someone to gain his own
financial,
independence,
yeah. Yep.
Because even if it's not so much, but it's something, and they can start to see a crack again.
Right.
And see, maybe if I do this, I can also do something else.
Right.
So this is the question, but probably.
Well, and again, that's something in the future we would certainly look into. If you're going to run the app and you're going to do it for 6 months, we give you, in America, we call it a stipend. I'm not sure what not a salary, but a grant, if you will.
Yeah.
And we will pay you $600 to run the app for whatever it is. So yeah, in the future, sure. Yeah, I need more money to do that. But we will get there.
Yeah, everywhere. Do you think it is important that to do this job is you, which is a patient like all the others?
I think it's very important because I live the disease every day. So I may understand a little bit better than somebody that doesn't. If you just went out and hired somebody, it's better to be a patient because I also can network with people, answer questions, and maybe understand things that someone like you as a dad, you may not realize.
Yeah.
But everybody involved. When we talk to each other, sometimes a lot of times the parents are involved, helping set things up or, networking like that. Anyone that has Duchenne or Becker touching their lives knows that it takes a whole village to manage this condition, to live a fulfilling life. So you can't ignore it. Everybody has to be involved in some way.
And obviously this is a channel opener because they feel that you are 100% on the same level with them. So they know exactly what they're talking about. It's different if I say something or you say something because I'm another thing.
Right. But that you're also an important thing.
Yeah.
But to give an example, if I want to talk about an intimate relationship, I don't even want to talk to a female therapist or a male therapist. I want to talk to somebody who is in a relationship that has muscular dystrophy and say, how does this all work? And I'm the same. I lean on these guys for other things. You know, in my house, different things, I will say, "Oh, I'm going to call that guy because I know he knows what's going on."
Yeah.
So it's not all coming from me. It's all everybody's back and forth. You know, I'm just the idiot that said, "Yeah, I'll do this."
Wearing the same shoes.
Yes, true.
In Italy, we created something like your board.
Excellent.
With kids and young adults.
Good.
But we are not able to involve them as we would like in here. So can you suggest us something that can improve this kind of involvement?
My first suggestion would be when you can get everybody together, don't right away make it about muscular dystrophy. Make it about the person and the humans and just a group of friends coming together to talk about common interests. And then you see what takes root from there, and then you weave your way. When you were 13, if someone said, "We want you to come to this meeting, talk about your disease," you don't have the life experience. I wouldn't want her to do that. You don't have the life experience. But if you say, "We're all going to come together, we're going to have a pizza party, and we're going to play some video games for an hour, once a month," everyone will come. Because then it's not, we have to talk about Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's, we're going to come and play games. So something like that, I think.
So I feel that we should find someone in this board, which is a young Moeschen, invest on him, and probably help him to be the leader of this group.
I agree.
This is the only way to move.
I agree. Well, first of all, I would like to be a young Moeschen.
Yeah.
I'm an old Moeschen.
I know.
But I would be more than happy if one
But
of
that's
your...
impossible. We need, Harry Potter, maybe.
Yeah. I would be more than happy to any of the young men in Italy that are watching this. I would be more than happy to speak with them online and talk about a little bit how I did this. Somebody in your group that's listening to this right now has leadership inside of them, and they just maybe have not realized it yet. And if that's the person watching this, if that's you, and you feel like you can be a leader and get people together and be good at social and making friends, you reach out and let us know. We're glad to help, because the other thing is, it not only is it fun, it promotes purpose.
Yeah.
You get out of bed and you say, "Oh, I had to do this today and this day." You look forward to it. It helps your spirits. You feel better. More than one of you out there definitely could be a leader, and I'd say go for it. Do it, because it will help everybody.
Would you like to say something to our Italian community? You already did it, but maybe find something else stronger. I don't know.
I would say I've been to Rome 2 times, beautiful country. I think you have a lot of work to do as far as disability awareness. And I would say the only way change will ever happen is from you. You have to come together with each other, and you have to do it on a regular basis, not just one time. And you just continue to raise your voices on anything that you want to see different. Don't think it is not possible, because only small people have ever changed the world.
Yeah.
You don't become a great leader automatically. You do it one small step at a time. But I would say if you have that in you, let it come out, and don't give up on it at all. You have the resources in your nation. It's a beautiful, beautiful country, and there's no reason why you young men with Duchenne and Becker cannot grow up, have a job, perhaps get married, have children, live independently, do the things that you want to do. Hope is not lost. It's within inside you. Let it come out, get everybody together, and grow a beautiful garden.
Last question is, we are waiting for you at our conference in February. Will you come?
Absolutely, but I'm going to need to bring my wife, and because we love Italy, and we love.
Oh.
Yes, we will come.